And what if I was to tell you that there's one magic pill technique that will guarantee you success in any medical interview, provided you execute it properly? Now, the magic pill technique is anecdotes. It's like a small story, right? Now, what we're talking about now is anecdotes that are small stories about your life, okay? Now, how do you use this technique in your interviews, and how do you use it to your advantage? This is how you do it, right? Now, let me give you guys a typical interview question. How would you resolve conflicts between team members? Now, in terms of what we were talking about before, the technique of anecdotes, how would I train people to answer that kind of question? I would say something like this. First of all, I'd pretend to think, pretending that I haven't prepared for months for this interview, right? So I pretend to think, and then I'd be like, well, actually at the Anglican retirement villages where I volunteer at, there was a conflict that arose between the two people, and this is what happened. And from this example, this is how I would generally resolve conflict between team members. It would be much smoother than that, but what I did was I smoothly integrated a little anecdote about my own personal experiences. Now, how do you prepare for interviews? Contact people who've done interviews before. Do a prep course. Do something to get a list of interview questions. Read the questions. Write them down in an exercise book, right? Leaving space between them. And just let it, percolate in your head. Maybe you're standing at the bus stop, or maybe you do something volunteering and you think, that would be a great answer for the interview question. And you go home and you write it out. And what you end up with is a book full of answers that are full of depth, drawing on your vast experiences compared to the people who start preparing maybe a week before or a few days before, right? How do you do this? Write down what you want to say in bullet form. Never write down how you're going to say it, because they can tell if you rehearse the questions. Make it a point to say your answer differently every single time you practice, because that way, you're still flexible and you don't sound rehearsed. Don't be so quick in year 12 to give up your sports or your music or things like that, because that's what's going to give you depth. That's what's going to construct you, cultivate your personality. That's what's going to help you in your interview as well. Not to mention the benefits for your brain, in terms of memory and things like that for exercising. Because I know a lot of people in year 12, with good intentions, they quit their sport, they quit everything to focus on studies, right? You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that because, that 2 hours extra a week, you're probably not going to use it productively anyway.